Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into something pretty interesting today.
Yeah,
Power for a Life of Glory.
that's the one.
It's from Emmanuel Afiawari's Inspired Devotionals, the January 13th entry. And I gotta say, the title alone
Yeah.
kind of threw me for a loop.
Ah,
Power for a Life of Glory. I mean, is this
yeah.
talking about becoming like some kind of superhero
Hmm.
or like achieving some crazy worldly success?
Interesting question.
What do you think?
Well, it's definitely a question worth exploring, I think.
Yeah.
The devotional kind of connects this idea of power to receiving the Holy Spirit, which is a
Yeah.
pretty big concept in Christian theology.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit, third person of the Trinity.
Exactly.
I get the basics. I mean,
Yeah.
but honestly, this whole idea of like divine power leading to a glorious life
Mm.
almost sounds too good to be true.
I can see that.
Like, is this some kind of prosperity gospel thing?
Yeah, I think it's a valid concern for sure.
Right.
But the devotional actually dives a bit deeper than that.
Okay. It uses the example of Samson.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the
example strong.
the guy who could like single-handedly take down a lion. I mean,
Exactly. That's some serious power right there.
talk about power.
And the devotional highlights how Samson's strength was directly attributed to the presence of the Holy Spirit.
Hmm.
So it's suggesting that this same power can work in us today, not necessarily giving us superhuman strength,
Right.
but, empowering us to achieve uncommon results in our own lives.
Hmm. So it's more about inner strength and transformation
Yeah,
than like outward displays of power.
exactly.
Okay, I can see that. But
Yeah.
what does that actually look like
Right.
in a modern context? I mean, I'm not exactly facing off against Philistines here.
That's true. That's true. But think about it this way.
Okay.
What are the lions that you face in your own life?
Hmm.
Maybe it's overcoming a personal challenge.
Yeah.
Maybe it's excelling in your work or having the courage to stand up for what's right.
Right.
The devotional suggests that the Holy Spirit can empower you to face those challenges
Hmm.
with a strength and a resilience that you wouldn't have on your own.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this applies beyond just physical strength.
Right.
But the devotional goes even further.
Uh-huh.
It says that this power can make you genuinely and generally liked.
Mm.
Now, that to me
Yeah.
sounds a bit like manipulating people to get what you want.
Oh, yeah. I see where you're coming from. But the text really emphasizes that this isn't about manipulation at all.
Okay.
Or like superficial charm.
Right.
It's about the Holy Spirit actually refining your character, leading you towards excellence and integrity.
Okay.
And as a result, people are naturally drawn to you.
Yeah.
Not because you're trying to win them over,
Mm-hmm.
but because you genuinely reflect something good.
Okay. So it's like inner transformation leading to outward impact.
Exactly.
And it makes me think, isn't this idea of being liked kind of at odds with the concept of humility,
Mm-hmm.
which is also a big theme in Christianity?
That's a great point. It's a really interesting tension. And the devotional doesn't shy away from that tension at all.
Okay.
It suggests that true humility isn't about self-deprecation.
Right.
It's about aligning yourself with God's will.
Okay.
And when you're walking in that alignment, you naturally attract favor and support
Mm-hmm.
because you're fulfilling your purpose. It's a divinely orchestrated path.
Divinely orchestrated.
It's
Uh,
a powerful image.
Yeah, that's a powerful phrase.
Mm-hmm.
But if God is orchestrating things,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't that make our efforts irrelevant? I mean, do we just sit back and wait for things to happen?
That's a great question. And actually, the devotional ends with a call to action.
Oh,
It encourages us to actively seek this power through prayer and surrender.
okay.
It's about partnering with God,
Yeah.
making ourselves available vessels for Him to work through.
Okay. I like that.
I think of it like a dance.
Hmm.
God leads, but we still have to choose to follow His steps.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
It takes the pressure off of feeling like we have to do everything ourselves,
Yeah.
but also empowers us to actively participate in the process.
Exactly.
So it's not about worldly achievement.
Right.
It's about aligning ourselves with a deeper purpose and letting that power flow through us.
Yeah, the devotional really reminds us that a life of glory isn't about fame or fortune.
Right.
It's about reflecting God's character and impacting the world for good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a powerful perspective shift.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up for our listeners,
Yeah.
this devotional is challenging us to rethink what power really means.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about dominance or control.
Right.
It's about tapping into a divine source of strength
Yeah.
and letting it transform us from the inside out.
And that brings up a really important question.
Okay.
If this idea of the Holy Spirit's power resonates with you,
Yeah.
how might you practically seek and cultivate it in your own life?
Hmm.
What would it look like to surrender and make yourself available for that divine orchestration to work through you?
That's a great question to leave our listeners with.
Yeah.
It's not just a theoretical concept.
Right.
It's an invitation to experience this power for ourselves.
Yeah,
And who knows what uncommon results might unfold in our lives as we do.
absolutely.
Thanks for joining us today,
Of course.
and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.